frankly, being here, I feel badly undereducated. Everyone I've met, it seems like everyone I've met has a degree and then a master's in several, and then they've decided to kind of make games. Hello, I'm Joylon Webb. I'm a senior art director in the games industry in the UK.
So how has the conference been for you so far? Have you enjoyed it?
I've totally enjoyed it. It's been an absolute revelation. So this is my first trip to India, and so I don't know India, and I've never seen the Indian development scene, and I can't get over how much energy and passion and skill there is here. It's a revelation.
So you've seen so many indie developers. Do you have a couple of things you'd like to tell them in terms of what to do and what to avoid?
Yes, I've got one message for indie developers. Get your marketing right. You have to market, otherwise you make no money and then you can't make another game. So that's what I'd say to indie developers. That's from personal experience as well. But also you need talent, you need engineering talent, and you need kind of like creative drive, and there seems to be that in vast quantities here.
In terms of virtual reality, do you think it's going to work in gaming, or do you think it's just going to fizzle out?
I think it will work because it's such an incredibly immersive experience. I think what I'm less sure about is how mass market it becomes, because the equipment's expensive, you need a high-end PC to drive it. Well, you can do it on mobile, but for the most part, you need expensive equipment. And also you have the wire. So I think it will work in the future and it will become mass market in the future, but probably only at the point where you have a cheap headset and one that doesn't have a wire on the back, and also one where the head tracking is from the user out to the world rather than cameras in the world back to the user. So basically it becomes free and easy. And at that point you're on the verge of really useful AR as well, and that's a whole other field.
So what's your opinion on the gaming development in India?
Well, it just looks like it's set for an explosion to me. Frankly, being here, I feel badly undereducated. Everyone I've met, it seems like everyone I've met has a degree and then a master's in several, and then they've decided to kind of make games. And they know so much about so much. I think that's one of the things that's impressed me most about the Indian game industry, is just the depth of talent. I think what's not there at the moment is that many years of experience making games. So in the UK games dev industry, there are a lot of people who are making games in the early 80s. Though having said that, on the conference short, the man was introduced, I forget the gentleman's name, but the Indian game developer who'd making games since 1981. And he was like a full-on guru. Like I say, India has been full of surprises for me, and Indian game development full of surprises.
So when you started out in this industry, it wasn't that popular. How did you start out?
Well, it was a crazy thing to do. Only the kind of mad people worked in games, kind of going back when I first started. It wasn't a proper job. I'd worked as an artist before I moved into the games industry, and what attracted me to it is it just looked like such an exciting place. And I joined at the beginning of the PlayStation 1 era, at the point where 3 dimensions became a really big feature of games, and it just seemed like too good a time not to get involved in something that looked that exciting. But it was a very different industry back then, much smaller, and you didn't have to be as skilled to make your way in the industry. And now I think this is one of the big challenges for young people starting in the industry. And you see it from some of the questions I was asked kind of wandering around, is what are the skills you need to get in? And the bar's quite high. The quality of output has become that much higher. And as a result, the bar for entry has become a lot higher. But there's the talent here to cope with that.
So in your personal opinion, do you prefer traditional animation or digital? I
just think they're like different flavors. I mean, I don't know if you've seen Zootopia recently. I watched Zootopia with my daughters, and we were, the whole cliche, we laughed, we cried, the whole thing. It's just an awesome movie. Would it be better in 2D? I don't think it would have worked in 2D. So if there's a heart in the thing, the medium doesn't matter if the heart comes out. And same true with games, indie games, console games, mobile games. Any kind of entertainment should reach out and move people. And if it makes that connection, actually the medium isn't the critical thing.
So on a parting note, if you had to give artists out there any advice, what would you tell them?
Draw. Just draw and keep drawing and keep drawing. I was chatting to a guy in Zynga, the Studio I in Bangalore, who's one of the best concept artists, and he showed me a sketchbook which was 290 pages full, and they were numbered. I didn't count them, you could count the numbers. And that was how he was getting good. He was drawing. That's the advice I would give, and it's advice I wish I'd given myself at a younger age. If I could travel back, I would say draw more. That's where the art happens.